my people, it's me, Anja. My pronouns are she and her, and welcome back to my channel for a new video. Initially, I was going to make a video about my favorite horror books, but then I realized that all the books on this list are queer, so this video turned into my favorite queer horror books. And frankly, and I've said this before, but queerness makes every genre better. And I've heard that horror is inherently a queer genre, although I'm not really sure if inherently is the right word here, because like as an English major, with someone with an English degree, technically I would argue that queer allegories can be found anywhere. So technically everything is queer. Does that make any sense? Anyway, basically, everything is gayer than you think. And second of all, the first book on this list is called Don't Let the Forest In. This story is a YA horror contemporary following a young asexual gay main character who discovers that his best friend's drawings have come to life as monsters, which I think is such an interesting concept. And this book was so good. It's absolutely so excellent and it's so brilliant. I love the characters in the dark academia setting and like the world building and the friendships and the romance, and everything about it was so fantastic and so good, especially the ace representation. I think this book is excellent and it deserves all of its hype and so much more. I think the author has another book that comes out later this month, if I'm not mistaken. I'm currently filming this video October 18th, by the way, for context. But anyway, this book is so good and it's totally worth all of its hype and so much more. So anyway, with that said, I would definitely highly recommend it. The next book on this list is called The Spirit Bares Its Teeth. This story is a YA historical horror set in 1883 that follows a young autistic transgender main character who's basically sent to a haunted finishing school, if that makes any sense. This book was so good and I absolutely loved it. Andrew's YA books, in my opinion, are absolutely so excellent and I've really enjoyed every single one of them. His adult debut, in my opinion, wasn't for me, but I think overall their books are so good and this book was excellent and I really enjoyed it so much. First of all, the world building is fantastic. The mystery is so intriguing and so engaging. The plot is so good and I loved how detailed this book was. I really appreciated the characters and the artistic representation, especially set in a historical setting, as well as the transgender queer representation. This book is excellent and I just really enjoyed it so much because I was thrilled by like every single second. So anyway, with that said, I would definitely highly recommend it. The next book on this list is called Come Out, Come Out. This story is a YA horror contemporary that follows two queer former best friends who must confront their oppressed identities after the ghost of their other third former best friend starts to haunt them. Does that make any sense? Anyway, this book is excellent and I loved it. I think it's so good and I loved the themes of like queer identity and friendship and like confronting trauma in a conservative like setting. This book was so good and so excellent. I loved the two characters individually. I loved the queer and trans representation. I think this book is excellent and it makes so much sense. And I love the plot and the mystery and the characters and the queerness and the horror elements. Everything about this book was absolutely so fantastic and so engaging, and I need more people to read this book because I think it's absolutely so necessary and so important and so fucking good. Like, this book is excellent and it's so underrated. So anyway, with that said, I would definitely highly recommend it. The next book on this list is called Roar of the Lambs. This story is a YA contemporary horror. I don't know why I keep saying that every single book on this list is a horror when the title of this video assumes that. But anyway, this story follows two black queer main characters who are trying to stop the apocalypse. And frankly, if somebody told me that I had to stop the apocalypse, I'm not sure if I would sign up for that. Because frankly, I don't really believe in the apocalypse. And second of all, when everyone said that the rapture was happening last month, I didn't believe it. Not for like religious reasons, but more for the fact that I don't really believe in the rapture. But anyway, these main characters saw a prophecy, so they believed it. And they should have, absolutely. Anyway, this book was so good, and it was so awesome, and I had really low expectations for it, because I think all the books on this list, except for this one, are written by an author that I have already completed a book by in the past, whereas with this one, I DNF'd the author's debut, so I had really low expectations for this book, and I'm so glad that this book exceeded those expectations, because like the world building was fantastic and so atmospheric. I love the plot and the mystery. I love the sapphic romance. Like, this book is excellent and it's fantastic, and I just really enjoyed every single second of it. So anyway, with that said, I would definitely highly recommend it. The next book on the list is called Jasmine is Haunted. This story is a middle-aged contemporary horror, if you didn't know, that follows a young queer main character who's being followed by a ghost ever since her father passed away. I think this book is absolutely so excellent and it's so well done. I love the exploration of queerness as well as grief. I think this book is so good. I loved the main character, and I loved her friends, and I loved her friend group. I also loved how casual the queerness was. I think this book is so good, and it's so awesome, and it's so underrated, which I say all the time about literally every single queer middle-aged POC book, because so often middle-aged queer books are white. Anyway, I digress. This book is so good. I really enjoyed every single second of it. I don't remember, honestly, if I had lower expectations for this book or higher expectations, because I think I've DNF'd a few books by this author in the past, but I don't remember if the one I read before this I rated 4 stars or not. I'm not quite sure. Anyway, this book is excellent and it's so good, and frankly, I think it's better than The Insiders. But anyway, with that said, I would definitely highly recommend it. The last book on this list, and definitely not the least, is called A Feast for the Eyes. This story is a YA queer supernatural thriller horror book that follows 2 queer main characters who are hunting down a local cryptid in their small town community, as it feeds off of their secrets. So they must hunt it down before the cryptid exposes their secrets, if that makes any sense. This book was so good and so awesome. First of all, I love these characters so much. I loved the queer representation. I loved their friend group. I loved the sapphic romance. It felt so well paced and so well done. I loved the 4 of them together because their platonic dynamic is so adorable and it makes so much sense. I love all of them individually. The writing is excellent and it's so fantastic. I love the plot and the mystery and the world building. Everything about this book is so fantastic and it's so brilliant and it's just so well paced. I think this book is absolutely so fantastic and it's so awesome, and frankly, I just really enjoyed it so much. It's definitely one of my favorite books that I've read this month. So anyway, with that said, I would definitely highly recommend it. So in conclusion, horror as a genre is typically only something that I gravitate towards if I'm already familiar with the author. So anyway, with that said, I hope that you enjoy this video. Happy Halloween, and if you did, please don't hesitate to give it a big thumbs up. Comment down below the ghost emoji if you made it all the way to the end of the video. Thanks for watching, subscribe to my channel if you're new, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!